Mr. Byler.
Ms. Datros.
Present.
Dr. Dupuy is absent. Mr. Abear.
Here.
Mr. Moe. Here. Mr. Myers.
Here.
Mr. Pilett.
Here.
Mr. Roy.
Here.
Mr. Stelling.
Here.
And President Tucci.
Here.
We have 8 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Coach Byler. Could we all please stand, and we'll have Mr. Dell lead us in a prayer, and Coach Byler will lead us in the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together tonight. Again, we thank you for all that you do to help our system. Without you, we would have way more trouble than we do. And most of all, we ask that you continue blessing the little children of Vermilion Parish. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin the meeting, I'd like to remind all that this is a public meeting and the following protocols are being followed. This meeting is being streamed live on VPSB YouTube. A reminder that public comments are allowed on any item in which a board vote will take place. If you wish to make a public comment, you will come to the podium, state your name, and you have 3 minutes to speak in support or opposition of that item at hand. As a reminder, this is not a question and answer opportunity, but rather your opinion on the topic. All comments must be germane to the agenda item. Can we have our first item?
Item B1 is to accept and approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Ms. Charlotte and a second from Mr. Kibbe.
The following items are on the consent agenda unless someone wants to pull one. Item E2, approve adopting revisions to policy IHC class rankings. Item E3, approve restructuring special education. Item E4, approve adopting the Director of Diverse Learners job description. Item E5, approve awarding proposal to renew contract for printing equipment. Item E6, approve appointing the board's official journal to the Abbeville Meridional. Item E7, award bids for limestone to bus turnarounds to Heritage Shell and Limestone. Item E8, approve revisions to policy DFI admission and gate receipts. Item E9, approve revisions to policy DJC payroll procedures. Click. That is the consent agenda, unless anybody wants to pull anything.
Do I have any public comment? Do I have any board member comment about the agenda?
I do. I have a question. Where did you look into anything for item E5, the printing?
Got very little information, but we'd have to pull that item
Why it's on there?
because the vote was 4-0.
Yeah.
The item failed 2-2. It went back to 4-0, moving it to consent. In order to discuss it, we'd have to pull that number.
Now, public, you have to have one from the winning side, right?
No, sir. Anyone can pull any item from the agenda to have conversation about it.
You want to have conversation about it?
I'm not on the, I wasn't on the
It
committee.
doesn't matter. It's open to all board members.
For the whole board right now.
Yes.
I would love to pull it.
Pulling item E5 for discussion.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
we voted 4-0. It's a done deal.
No, sir. Any item can be pulled from the consent agenda. Yes, sir.
Now, just to communicate to the rest of the board, when we agreed to move forward with this, Coach Byler said that he would look into getting us some information and details into this, but that at this point in time in the year where we have 13 million pages of printing to do, the renewal of this contract was very timely.
Right.
We discovered and realized that we would have liked to have had this in April
Way earlier.
to move forward. But in my opinion, I feel like causing a distraction at this point in time is a little late. So my recommendation,
Mr. President, for that, however, for us to discuss this publicly, we need to pull this item from the agenda, bring it to consent agenda, bring it off consent, and have the discussion. We shouldn't be talking about it during the consent agenda.
do I have a motion
I
to
remove my
remove it?
motion.
You remove your motion.
Yeah, I withdraw my motion.
So the consent agenda. We're voting on what's up on the board for consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yeah, somebody do.
Do we have a second?
It's already been.
Any opposed to approving the consent agenda? It passes.
Next item, item C1, approval of past minutes to discuss and take action to adopt the minutes of the transcribed for following purposes for the official meeting held on June 18, 2026. We need a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Dale.
Public.
Do we have any public comment? Do we have any board member comment? Do we have any opposition to the motion? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is item D1, Superintendent's Report. Mr. President, I am going to ask that we take the following item, which would be E1, at the same time. I'm just going to combine those two. So if we could get a motion for item E1.
Do I have a motion to include E1 in the presentation?
I so move.
Mr. Kibbe, we have a second by Mr. Gregg. Thank you, Coach Bowles.
Bridget, if you would click it, please. So I just want to quickly kind of go over, these are things that you've seen, but I want to kind of bring this attention to you. And first off, the reason I'm going to bring it to you is because just as proud as we should be, our administrators, our teachers, our stakeholders, this board should also be proud because there's a lot of things and decisions that are made based on curriculum and certain things that happen that you guys give our people a chance to do. And so because of that, we should all be celebrating this. And so this is the last, but I want to caution you, this is LEAP results. So this is basically every test taken from grades 3 to 8 in elementary and middle school, plus the high school 6 courses. Algebra 1, English 1, English 2, geometry, biology, and actually civics and U.S. history as we change over. So this is all of the middle school and elementary tests plus the 7 high schools. You will notice this is the Acadiana region on the left. Vermilion Parish was at 43%. Last year we had 46. You will see the rest. This is 13 straight years that we've led the way on the test scores, and so we're very pleased about that. If you look on the other column, you will see how we rank against the state. You will see that the state released in the state's PowerPoint, they released a top 10, and then they also released a top 10 for growth. Vermilion Parish is one of 2 districts, Vermilion Parish and DeSoto Parish, that was on both lists. And that's not easy to do because growing high achievement is not easy. So you will see Ascension Parish leads the way at 53%, West Feliciana, Plaquemine, Central, Zachary, then Vermilion, we're tied with St. Tammany. Of those top 6 schools, top 7 schools, Ascension Parish being the only one larger than Vermilion. On that complete list, the only school systems larger than Vermilion are Ascension, St. Tammany, and Lafourche and Livingston. Lafayette also on the bottom. So we're right up there. I mean, we are up there, 46%. We're happy about that. Ms. Bridget, if you would flip it, please. Want to kind of show you, this is the stats you saw. This has been posted, 6 in Louisiana, 46% mastery and above, a 3% gain on testing, which is huge. 7 of our schools increased by 4 or more points, meaning 4% more of the kids scored mastery or advance. 62, Cecil Picard leading the way with 62% of every test from 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, 4 tests. 62% of the students at Cecil Picard scored mastery at advanced. Just highlighting some of the things at the bottom, you will see Kaplan Elementary at 47%. Kaplan Elementary had an 11-point gain, up from 36. Erath Middle School, a 10-point gain, moving to 58%. North Vermilion Middle School, 57%, was a 6-point gain. Gaydon High School moved 6 points as well. Indian Bayou, 4 points. Kaplan High, 4 points. Abbeville, 4 points. And then all the other schools, you'll see North Vermilion, LeBlanc, Jesse Owens, J.H. Williams, Cecil Picard, FIEB all grew. Dozier, Moe, and Erath High maintained the same. So we had a lot of great things. But of course, we're never satisfied. There are some areas that we didn't score as well as we normally do, and we're looking into those. But great growth across the district and across away. And this is just a component of the scores I'll come back with in November for the new accountability system, which will be a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. But kudos to our schools for this. Flip, please. I do also want to share this, and some of you may have seen this. This is something that we're starting. Where did our students finish up? When our goal is to finish our kids and give them a chance, these are some things that you guys actually should be proud of taking part of the credit, because the dual enrollment, some of our career courses, those things, ACT, you guys pay for a portion of ACT. But you'll see we had 581 graduates, 2,475 dual enrollment credits earned, classes being 3 hours per credit. That equates to about $1 million of savings for our students when you start paying about $250 per credit hour. So great job. Our ACT score of 21.3, this is pulling out, this is for kids who stayed in Core 4, they took all of the college curriculum all the way through. You're not going to see this reporting elsewhere. We were at about 21.0 last year, up to 21.3. But this is just, the state reports our Jumpstart students who stopped taking college prep courses in their sophomore year. So we kind of broke it out. 56% of our Jumpstart students earned silver or higher on work keys, which is an industry-based test for them. 1,570 industry-based credentials. And those are things that they have to do to get their diploma. 83.3 of our graduates earned an industry-based credential. We had 115 advanced credentials. So these are all statistics by supporting our career campus, by supporting our ACT program, supporting the dual enrollment program. Those are decisions that you guys make. And so I think it's only fair that you guys appreciate this, because some of the decisions you are making play a huge role in this part of the system. And so we do thank you for that. Flip, Ms. Bridget. I do want to give you a couple of school safety updates. The Halo Detectors project, if you remember, we brought to you and we said we had to be finished by the end of June for that grant in this fiscal year. The Halo Detectors are up and running in all of our high schools. That project is complete. If you ever want a tour of what they do, contact Mr. Brooks or Mr. Scott. Don't bring a vape or cigarette and blow smoke, because you will get scared when that thing starts talking to you, because it's loud. So and it's not only a vape detector, but it's also loud noises. If there's a ruckus in the bathroom, it's alerting. If you've been in there too long, it's alerting. So the other thing I do want to share with you, our school resource officer program, we are adding 2 more school resource officers, but at no additional cost. We are paying for them, but we made a decision. We shifted some responsibilities in-house. We deleted a service contract that we had with our camera system, somebody making sure the cameras were running, and that we made some adjustments to that. We're able to minimize a contract. We are bringing a shared officer to the Kaplan schools. This is something we've offered to the city of Kaplan Police, but they just couldn't staff it. The sheriff's office is staffing it. Actually, the young man who was at LeBlanc Elementary is moving to the 3 Kaplan schools. We have a veteran lieutenant who is moving to LeBlanc. And then the other thing we did is we restructured our safety officer at Alternative. We were paying a contracted safety officer for years that was the safety officer, but didn't have arresting authority, didn't carry weapons, it was a safety officer. He has retired. We at that point chose to go a different route. That school resource officer from the sheriff's department will start their day doing the same check-in procedure at the elementary Alternative, and then will work Herod and Eaton Park. So there was really a cost cancellation. We canceled one job and we brought a resource officer on. So those are the two new. LeBlanc is keeping theirs, but it's just going to be a change in personnel for LeBlanc. Let me finish, Jay, and I'll get back to all the answers. Back to school dates, I just want to kind of share on July 27th, 10-month employees return. School offices will reopen. The 27th and 28th are our administrative conferences, which will be held at J.H. Williams. August 10th is our district-wide PD. High school and middle school is at Abbeville High, elementary at J.H. Williams. August 11th and 12th is our school-based PDs, and August 13th, the first day of school. This is a week later than the normal, the calendar kind of flips, and so that's why you'll see. The next thing, or the last thing before I'll answer any questions, just want everyone to realize and remember that the election cycle for 27 to 30 is currently up, and that the qualifying dates for anyone wanting to run for those positions is August 5th, 6th, and 7th. The election date is November 3rd. Those dates, and the reason I put it up there, those dates are different qualifying dates than the original publication of the last week in July. They made some adjustments to the election schedule, so that, just want to kind of make that out there and public. So at this time, I'll answer any questions. It's just a report, so only board questions.
Mr. Jason?
Want to go
Security
back, Rob?
officer at Harrod and Eaton Park. Then one person's gonna be able to do the check-in for the elementary,
And then be available for the other
Be
two.
available,
Yes, sir.
and-
Currently, we have none.
Elementary school.
Currently, we have none. Yeah, so that's actually again, this is another situation where we tried to work with the locals,
Right.
but their numbers were not there. And so as their numbers were not there, we went to the sheriff's department and said, we offered it to the local, to Abbeville and to Kaplan, and look, it's hard to find folks. And so when we didn't find folks, we went to the sheriff's department. This just kind of fell into our lap on the Harrod Eaton Park. Just felt that we could get a little bit more out of that position other than just staying at alternative. Now that we've moved high school and middle school alternative to another campus,
Right.
we changed the model, but we didn't change that structure. But this is going to be a way better structure and usage of our funds.
Only
Mr.
a
Gregg.
comment. Thank you for seeing about the shared office in the 3 Kaplan School. Appreciate that.
But we've been working on that one for 3 years, and so,
That's for a long time.
yeah. And we're gonna get with the 3 administrators at the Kaplan schools and say, okay, what's the best plan for location? We'll probably start the day at Kaplan High, doing take-in, and then gradually work over, so.
Coach Byler, I want to end with a comment as well, just to go back to our LEAP scores. In the community, the feedback I'm getting is, even though there has been some frustration at some of our schools with the teachers and stuff, this representation in the state kind of gave the teachers a little bit of oomph to go back into the new school year. But it is always nice. I think this has been many years in a row that we've been number 1 in Acadiana, which is a big deal. We have a lot of competition, not only for our students, but for our staff and our teachers. So hopefully, as we continue to do this in the schools, with maybe some things coming in the near future, hopefully we can retain our really good teachers and keep that process going and stay in ranked high on these LEAP scores. I think it's it's an honor for us to be able to represent Vermillion Parish and what you guys have been doing, so,
Thank you.
yep. Any other questions? Thank you, Coach Byler. Next item. I'm very stubborn with that.
Next item is to go into executive session to discuss and or take action to approve entering into executive session to discuss litigation, State of Louisiana and Vermillion Parish School Board versus the Louisiana Land and Exploration Company, docket number 82162, Division D, 11th, it should be 15th Judicial District, I think. We need a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Dell. Do I have a second? Mr. Kibbe has seconded to go into executive session. Can we get a roll call vote?
It's not necessary, just vote unless somebody says nay. We no longer have to have that, so.
Any opposition? Nope. We're in executive session. Ms. Charlotte made a motion, Mr. Chris made a second. We are back from executive session. Coach Byler, next item.
Next item is information advisory reports. First report is the Business Department Sales Tax Report.
Do I have a motion?
Nothing, just a report. You don't need information reports.
All right, you should have
Go
this.
ahead, Mr. Eric.
Thank you, sir. You should have the sales tax report for the month of May. It's the last month for this fiscal year for sales tax. For the month of May, $949,301 for the 1%. The half cent, $474,654. It's a 2.4% increase from this time last year. Fiscal year to date, $11,017,540. That's a 14% increase in sales tax from this time last year
Okay,
for the
that's
fiscal
good,
year.
Eric.
Yeah. And $5,508,800 for the half cent.
What's the percent on that?
Same, 14%.
14%? Yes, sir.
Insurance, no, oil and gas.
All right, completing the fiscal year for the month of June, oil and gas was $132,786, but $130,000 of that is the annual lease payment for the carbon capture.
Okay.
Fiscal year to date, $304,564. It's actually double than what it was last year, so.
Insurance,
Now this is
dun,
the
dun, dun.
fun part.
All right, for insurance for the month of June, you had revenue of, or contributions of $1,502,710, expenditures of $1,958,875. That's a negative $456,000 for the month. We went ahead and to close out the year, the fiscal year, positively, we went ahead and made the adjustment that Ms. Luana had recommended for the retirees. That number came out to $543,247. That adjustment basically was for multiple months. It won't happen again, it just happened this month. Bringing the fund positive for the month of June to $119,994.
What are we gonna do next month? We're gonna make another equity deposit?
So next month.
And the next month.
Yeah, well,
And the next month?
the start is to bring, we're gonna bring the superintendent's budget, which will hopefully, the plan is to have an increase in the board contribution as a start, if we can align it into the budget
From the general fund?
from the general fund.
Eventually, there was one
That's the
raise
only,
rate.
that's the only way.
Eventually, we gotta get out the insurance business.
If you go out and bid,
Yeah.
you think about spending money, you don't spend money showing up, that's all. It wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen.
Thank you, Mr. Eric.
Thank you.
We might have to raise rates. That's all that's good. But compared to what we pay versus what somebody out in the world pays,
We can't keep doing what we do.
no, man.
Coach Byler, next.
Board commentary.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Jason.
I got a little bit.
Okay,
I haven't spoken in a while, so I'll take the opportunity.
good.
You know, it's a little two-sided. I love to see how well we've done with the LEAP scores in the parish and the great job we've done and our students have done. But at the same time, I sit back and, you know, you have to realize, guys, this is happening with our largest percentage of uncertificated teachers in our history. Okay? Every day I hear people say, you know, we need to find a way to give our teachers a raise. Well, we tried. We tried to pass a bills or tax. It failed. Look what the legislatures, the shenanigans that have gone on this year. You know, they try to get something passed to, you know, borrow from Peter to pay Paul to give the teachers a raise. It didn't happen, and now we're gonna get something shoved down our throat on an unfunded mandate from the governor's office to give raises. I think it's unfortunate that communities don't value education the way that we should, because, you know, again, 13 years at the top of the district, lowest salary schedule in the district, or second to lowest. You know, people look at us. What are we gonna do? Cut? You gotta cut somewhere. You know, cut. You're too heavy. You got too many people at the top. You gotta do this. You gotta do that.
We're gonna cut.
You go look at the other parishes. We're not nearly as heavy as central office as people think. Could we cut some more? Probably so. But would it be enough to make a significant difference? I don't know.
Not in teacher salary.
Yeah, not in teacher salary. But we're gonna have to get creative, you know? We have to do something. We have to think outside the box. We have to keep looking for ways that we can increase the salary schedule. I don't know how we do it. I don't know where the money will come from. Hopefully something will happen in the near future that could help us. But, you know, they do deserve more money. I think everybody on the board agrees with that. I think everybody in central office agrees with that. Unfortunately, the voters don't want to put forth any more money to make it happen. And it is on us to try to find a way. So I just wanted to kind of end with that. We can have a hard road ahead. But I think we need to try to figure something out. Maybe Tommy can work a couple of miracles and can find us some money.
Well, I can agree with you, Mr. Jason, and I appreciate you bringing that up. But before we can even get to that, we've got to stop the bleeding out of this insurance fund before we can give any.
Right. Oh, so you mean the insurance? Oh, that's part of salaries and benefits, right? So we have that as our responsibility too. Being a little facetious. I think a lot of people look at the salary schedule and don't want to add to that the amount of money it costs us to give them medical insurance, even beyond the active faculty once they retire. We still provide them insurance. So I think that the community and the teachers in the parish need to understand that is a huge amount of money we pay to keep this insurance fund afloat and keep insurance for them and their families. So
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna have to come up with a game plan to go and educate our employees of this school system for the future things that would be brought to vote on to support the parish. I think that we can probably use that as an opportunity to do better in educating the employees, to reach out to their families in their circles, to allow us to get the voters involved in knowing what our struggles are currently.
You know,
Yes, sir.
you're gonna come back to the same place that we were before. You know, insurance is a cycle. You go through cycles where a lot of people get sick and the cost goes up and right in the bind again. When we had money, we chose to spend it instead of putting this away for this time. So where we're gonna find ourselves is we're gonna have a choice. Either we increase the cost to the employees or we reduce services. That's why you come to every doggone time. You reach a point to where the board can no longer subsidize it. So all you can do is either increase the employee share or cut services. I've never been for cutting services, but sometimes you have to look at it.
And I can understand both points, Mr. Kibbe, but the last thing that I want to do is give our employees a pay raise and then increase their cost for a benefit. That's going to not be looked at very well.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
yeah, same
So,
thing the states do.
but we can all agree that we have to work together and figure something out.
But our teachers, we think we all agree, our teachers deserve the very best.
They do. I never was in favor of cutting them.
I can agree with that. Any other board commentary? Superintendent commentary?
I do have, I do want to make a statement or comment based on some of the conversations I just heard. And yes, we are sounding the alarm on insurance, understandable. I just want everyone to understand that we're not alone in this, that this is a nationwide issue, okay? Insurance has gone up 14% across the nation. I just want us to make sure, guys, we have to remember that 2.5 years ago, our argument at this board 2.5 years ago was an argument about taking money from the insurance fund to pay back general fund. 2.5 years later, we're at zero. So there is something that is going down. Now, there are some things that we have to work with. I am more than likely going to be coming with recommendations that I think we need to go out for RFP, for a broker, saying that these are the specifics we need. Insurance is not going to get any cheaper, but what are the other things that are out there that could be factors, okay? We also need to look at some of the salaries and benefits part of the 5% sales tax, okay? As that number increases, we've never done anything with that excess. Maybe we need to take some more of that. So I'm going to come with you at a budget with some ideas.
Thank you.
The other thing that I'm not going to defend or say anything yay or nay, but we sat here 7 months ago with a recommendation that we were all against, but a recommendation from our broker that said, we asked the question, what do we need to do to make changes to try to stabilize this? There was a list of about 6 things, which one of those was the only way we're going to stabilize it with the rising cost of health care is to increase board contributions by 3%. We chose not to because we felt there were some other things, we wanted them to do some other things before that.
And we did.
Had we done the 3%, what I'm saying is we can't completely fault, because we made a decision to not fund the 3%. That wouldn't put us, trust me, it would still put us at maybe $400,000 more, but we made that decision. We may be at a point that we can't choose that any longer. I do agree that we need to figure out, are there benefits? Do we need to go get somebody to start negotiating where our employees go to the walk-in clinics, where our employees are going to emergency rooms? What are the other things out there? You guys made it loud and clear Monday night that we need to RFP on a lot of things, and I think that that's going to be the next step. And I will have meetings with our currents and say, this is where we are. We made changes to pharmacy, and we see a $400,000 increase in pharmacy at this time. I need more detail. I need more detail of where we're spending, what we're spending. But I understand the concern about funds. I feel like we've done a great job managing our lost revenue to still be at the point where we are. Yes, we may have to make some severe cuts down the road. I'm not for changing insurances. I'm for staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield based on but that doesn't mean that our current the way our current broker is managing things, we need help. We've been telling that. We've given them opportunities, and that's for us to have conversations with the insurance committee. I just want to make sure that we all understand that some of this is potential decisions we made. Some of this is just out of our control. I mean, it truly is. I mean, I have been in contact with Calcasieu. Calcasieu went out and did a survey and paid money to see what they want to get out of the self-funded insurance business. The only other option is the Office of Group Benefits. Well, that was 8% more than what they're currently losing. And so there's just not, I mean, I think we have to do a better job of educating our younger employees about HSAs. I think we've got to do some different programmatic things, but that will be for us to work on. So I agree with all the comments, and I would just hope that we can work with our folks and figure out something. Other than that, that's the last of my comments, and y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Coach Bala. I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mr. Carey has a second. This meeting